Well, hey everyone, it's me, Eric Kimball. I'm back here for another video, and today I'm standing in my mini bed garden. If you've watched my videos over the years, you know that mini bed gardening is a infrastructure idea that I came up with, and I've been experimenting with it here, and I've been very satisfied with the experiment. I expect to be a mini bed gardener for the rest of my life. It's manageable and it's productive. We are getting into late November here. I live in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. We're gonna get the snow, I'm sure, and I won't want to be standing out here talking to you then. So today's a perfect day for it. What I have here, which is the whole reason I came out here and then decided to video this, is horseradish. My wife just brought this home. She got these roots, got another root that she's going to use, and she got this root for me to take a couple sections off and plant. So I'm going to do that today. And the reason that she got this horseradish and a root for herself is because she's making fire cider. If you have ever made fire cider or you have experience with fire cider, I welcome your comments below. I'm going to plant this, but that's not what this video is about. I think I'm going to just walk around the garden, show you what I got here at this time of the year, late November. Yeah, let's do that right now. So I'm going to walk and talk here. The pile that you see right there, covered with tire sidewalls, is the contents of my compost pile, which was right here. I actually made a video about my board-sided compost pile that fits together piece by piece. Came apart real easy. I turned it over and I covered it up. And hopefully next spring we'll be in good shape. We'll have a little bit of compost to sift and add to the mini beds. I don't have any cover crops. I didn't get to the cover crops. These are partially shredded leaves, and I actually cut down all my comfrey and decided to throw the comfrey on top of the leaves, and maybe the rain and the weather will percolate some of the comfrey nutrients down into the ground. I have come to the conclusion over my years of doing this mini bed gardening that leaves, partially shredded leaves, are ideal to cover the mini beds with. Of course, a cover crop like the rye, which I've grown for years, is also very good. But other than that, they just partially shredded leaves. And the beauty of partially shredded leaves is that they don't blow away and they don't pack down flat with the rains that come. So these partially shredded leaves, they stay in place, and they're just fantastic. Look at the soil underneath here. Look at the soil underneath. Look how nice that is. And it will be even nicer come spring when I want to plant my crops in these beds right here. Shredded leaves, partially shredded leaves. I don't have a shredder. I used to have a shredder, but it was just, had a motor on it, it was loud and it was big, and so I got rid of that, and now I just, I shred with my lawnmower. That's important to me, is to get these beds covered. I have several beds, 14 I think, that are covered with leaves, partially shredded leaves, and they have this hardware cloth over them. And what this hardware cloth is, if you've watched my videos, is a cat excluder, but I don't need a cat excluder so much at this time of year. What I have done is covered all the beds that I planted to garlic. I covered them with that so that I know in the spring that I have garlic down here. And in fact, look, you see that? Right there is a garlic. We'll zoom in on that. Look at that. I should have 13 of them in here. Well, I don't see one there, but yeah, no, that's good to see. They come up very dependably. Yeah, there's another one right there. See it? Clear the leaves away. Those partially shredded leaves. Yeah, so I've got a couple showing. They're all going to show. They always come up. And the beauty, let's get back to a wider view here. Yeah, there we go. The beauty of putting shredded leaves over my garlic at this time of year, they should be covered here in this climate. Come spring, I will clear away the leaves when the sprouts are up enough so that they can get their sunlight and really take off, and I'll leave the leaves right there. And I don't have to do anything more, nothing more. There won't be any weeds that grow in these mini beds. It'll just be the garlic. And 13 to a mini bed is ideal. I've made videos about this. The other thing that I've done that you can't see here is that when I planted those garlics, I put a lot of feather meal into the soil. Okay, so they're going to get nitrogen, slow release nitrogen in the spring as they need it. And that's it. I used to use blood meal. I've got a bunch of feather meal. Stuff stinks, but it's got the nitrogen in it, and the garlic loves that nitrogen, and there won't be any weed competition. Now, working our way along here, I have my birdhouse. My birdhouses are really important. I have one there and one down yonder, right there. They get the bluebirds or they get the swallows. This particular birdhouse I made many years ago. I just repainted it and I repositioned it because my grandson was visiting this summer, and he was running the golf cart around, and he actually lost control and ran over the T-post and the birdhouse. That was kind of a disaster, but we've got the birdhouse back. You can see how I hang it there. Just got a block of wood here. Got some wire. Here comes a car. We'll come back in a second here. All right, and you may recall if you've been watching my videos that I planted some haskcaps or honeyberries right here. I got 4 of them that I planted, and we actually got a few berries. They don't look very good to me, but I think they're doing okay. I think that's just the way they look when they're young. We've got the little copper tag, Boreal, what's it say, Beauty. Right here, this is interesting. This is something I love to do, and that is to mulch with root stubble, we'll call it. Right here is a clump of root stubble that was buckwheat. I planted a lot of buckwheat here in my garden after harvesting off the early crops. I let the buckwheat grow to blossom and beyond. It dropped its seeds. I let it stay that long, and it really looked shaggy. The garden looked pretty bad, but it was productive. We got a lot of food out of the garden. So when I put the leaves on the beds, I just cultivated the surface a little bit, and I pulled out the roots like this, the stubble of roots. Some of them were weeds. This one was the root of the pepper bed. So anyway, I like to get all that root stubble and use it as a mulch. Yeah, I've done that for years. It's kind of neat looking, I think. And it's a good use of those little clumps. Right here, you're seeing a view of many of the mini beds, all of them that I didn't get covered with partial leaves, that are covered with a plastic, a 1 mil red plastic. Now, I bought that plastic, I bought a roll of it long ago. It could have been 20 years ago. And I never really used it. It was in my shed, and I thought, man, I have leaves, not shredded, that I think I could put on the mini beds and then cover with the plastic, and then the frame, the mini bed frame, would hold it down. So that's what I've done. It was easier than getting shredded leaves. It was getting late in the season. The leaves were wet. It didn't matter. So I came in and I just put those leaves. They would blow away normally, right? Most of them would blow away being not shredded. So they're not going to blow away with the plastic on top. And I think that will protect the beds quite nicely. So that's kind of an experiment that I've done for the first time here. Over here, you can see my lavender bed. We must have a lavender bed, and it's dried up, and I really don't know how to prune these. Look at that lavender right there. I can crush that, and it will smell just like lavender. It'll be very nice. Yeah, wow. Over here, if you watched my previous video, I planted raspberries a couple of years ago, and these are the kind that are fall bearing, and you trim them down to the ground level every year, and they come up in the spring, and you get your fall berries. And this is Joan J to the west, and Caroline to the east. There we go. So I have 2 varieties, and wow, they were very productive. Very happy with those raspberries. Over here, I have pea vines that I've used for mulch. Pea vines make great mulch. My raspberries here, these are the summer bearing berries, which you prune the canes and stake them up, and this one is looking really bad. You know, the canes, I didn't get any good canes. They should all look like this one. I've yet to tie them up. Here's one I haven't finished pruning out the old canes, any of these here, but I don't know, that one on the end and Actually, this one right here, not looking too good at all. Well, we'll see how that goes. Now here you can see my entire sidewall collection. In all that dead weeds there, we have asparagus, 2 rows of asparagus. So I got to do some work on that. Now I've got the sheet metal mulch here on the edge of the garden. It's been here forever. I've used sheet metal mulch in my garden in various ways since 1999. I like sheet metal mulch. Okay, the celery here, another good year of celery. Doesn't look that good, but my wife has come out and picked celery as needed through the season when it was ready. But I'll leave that there. We'll let that die down. That's roots in the ground. That's what we like, if when possible, we have the roots in the ground. That's the beauty of those cover crops. Here's kale. Same deal. We'll leave it there. Let it die down. A lot of good kale right there right now still. And parsley. Same thing. Parsley is a biennial. We'll probably let that grow up next year from the roots that are in the ground and harvest some seeds from that. We've got grapes down here. I should show you the grapes. It was a fantastic year for grapes. We couldn't get them all. We had numerous neighbors come and get what they wanted. And you can see what were really good grapes that we just never got to. My wife made a lot of juice. Yeah, we love our grapes. Grapes grow well here in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. I did have apple trees along there. That's my property line, by the way. And they never did good. I have a problem when it comes to apple trees. I just can't seem to grow an apple tree that looks good, but grapes have done really well. This is turning into a real ramble, isn't it? These trees here are my elderberries, and I pruned them way down last year before they, spring, before they started growing, and they just sprouted way up, and they didn't make a single berry. So, okay, that's all right. We can get elderberries elsewhere, and we've got a bunch in the freezer. These berries are coming out. They're all coming out. I need the room because behind me, kind of where I'm standing, I hope to build some sort of a workshop. And there's the golf cart. Belongs to my son, one of my sons, and that's the golf cart that my grandson ran over the birdhouse and broke. It's been sitting there ever since. Okay, we don't golf, by the way, but it sure is a fun vehicle when it's running. That's it, everyone. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.